Hey guys, welcome back. Today we'll try to capture one of the important concept of error handling, that is how we can handle multiple errors through nested try block. That is very important. We'll get into various example on how we can do this and various ways in which nested blocks are coded in Python. So if So in Python program, if there is another try except construct or block, either inside a try block or inside its except block, it is called nested try block. Yeah. So this is needed when different blocks like outer and inner may cause different errors. To handle them, we need to have nested try blocks. So let's try a different example by which we will be able to understand how nested try blocks are used. So let's try with what you can do is let's try with a simple try except finally construct. Yeah. So in this, if if the statement inside try encounter exception, it is handled by except block. With or without exception occurred, the finally block is always executed. So let's have our previous examples that we had for try, except, and finally, which you have written. Try, except. Okay, okay. Try, except, fine. Okay, let me use this. We'll make it a bit simple while we are trying to write this code. Yeah. So suppose I have this number. Okay. I have A equals to 100, B equals to 0. Yeah, I'll say try. I'm trying to make it a bit more simple. Print A divided by B. Yeah, so I'm dividing 100 by a 0. So what exception can occur? So this could be an exception, a general exception. Let me put it this way. Not have else. I do not want else. I'll just keep finally as of now. We'll run this code and I will say just exception. Yeah? And we'll say this is a general exception that has occurred. Yeah. If any exception occurs, it will get into this and it will print general exception. Finally, so this is outer finally block. Yeah. So what has happened is this is the first try. If an exception occurs, it will jump into general exception and it will print finally. Yeah. So let's run this. You can see it has got into general exception because it is a division error. Hence, an exception has occurred. We don't know, we have not gone into an exact exception, but the exception has occurred and hence it has printed general exception. Yeah. And finally, this is supposed to run irrespective whether you get into an exception or not. So this is a outer finally block. Yeah. Now, let us now see how to nest try constructs. Yeah. Inside this particular example. So So we'll try to do this. So we'll try to nested try block inside the existing try block. Yeah. And the outer try to handle zero division. Yeah. Okay. So let rephrase this entire thing. Yeah. So what we'll try to do here is we'll try to do this. We'll try to have an exception now. So we'll have try print. This is inner, not nested. So this is inner try block. Yeah. Again, we have the nested general exception. So this is inner general exception. And this is inner finally block. Yeah. Except now this will specifically specify zero division error. Division error. Yeah. And this is division by zero not allowed. Yeah. And this is the outer finally block. Yeah. So let's see what is the output that comes with the same example. Yeah. So you can see the try block has executed this command. It is not getting into this because it is a zero division error. So since it is a zero division error, it has gone in here in this exception saying zero division not allowed, and it has directly pushed on to the outer finally block. So the inner finally block has not executed at all. Yeah. Yeah. So it has gone into this code. Yeah. It has not gone here in this inner block as it has encountered an error in this particular code itself. Hence, it went on to the zero division error and has moved out of the block. Yeah. Now let's reverse the above situation. So now let's reverse the above situation. Uh, by what we can do is, so as I said, the outer one does not have an exception raised. So the statement causing zero is inside. So what we'll do is the statement causing zero, we'll try to bring it inside the block. So let me show you the situation that we'll create right now. So what I'm trying to do is try, I'll say print, I'll say this is outer block, outer try block. I will try to do the execution of the statement inside the nested block. So I'll say print A divided by B. So the execution of the statement is happening inside the block. And I'm trying to have this zero division error here. Yeah, and I'll zero division error not allowed. I'll put it here. Yeah, and we have the inside finally block, and then we have the exception. Yeah, and we'll say this is outer general exception. Okay, so what we are trying to do here is, let me just put a line in between so that you understand. I am trying to have this code executed inside the nested block rather than executing it outside, which we have done in a previous example. So outer block was executing the command, hence it was throwing directly to the outer block. But this time we are executing the outer block and then executing the command a divided by b inside the nested block. So let's see what is the output with the same example. Here you can see it prints the outer block statement. Then it executes the statement and sees that it is a zero division error because 100 cannot be divided by 0. So it says division 0 not allowed. Then it prints the finally block because this will print irrespective whether error exception occurs or not. And then it also prints the finally here because this will also print irrespective of whether your entire code executes or not. Yeah, so it has directly gone here and it has printed here because there is no exception, general exception being executed here. So the exception which triggered was this one, zero division error. It print the finally of inside nested or the nested or the inner block, and also the finally of outer block. Yeah. So this is how the entire block get executed if you change a little bit in the code. Yeah. Now let's do one thing. Let's keep the zero division error outside. So let's do the same example. Repeat the above example with the zero division error outside the nested or inner block. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is we'll execute the same code with the division occurring inside the block or the inner block and having the zero division error outside the block. Yeah. So I am having the zero division error outside the block, and I will have another error inside this saying the key error. So I have not key error in inner block. Yeah, I'll remove the exception here. Okay, so what is happening is I have got the zero division error outside the inner block. So it is in the outer block now. So it is a part of this try except statement, whereas the inner block has a new key error. Yeah. So let's see what happens if I try to execute the block. So you can see this. It has executed the outer block. Yeah. It has come inside the inner block. It has executed this A divided by B and check whether any exception related to zero division is there. It is not there. Hence, it is executing the finally block. Yeah, since there is no exception which is related to zero division, it is coming outside this try block and executing this zero division error that has occurred. Yeah, and it is also executing this finally. So irrespective where this error has occurred, it will print depending on the nested situation where it has been occurring. Or if it is within this entire outer block, it will always push on to the exact error which has occurred for this particular statement, depending on where you have placed the specific exception related to the error. Yeah. So these are various ways in which you can run try exception blocks, inner or outer, depending on the situation that you have. And you can manage the errors and run the codes at various places within the try except blocks, taking into account that the finally statement will always execute. This will not execute if this particular operation A divided by B is in an outer block, because it will execute first and directly jump onto the except rather than getting into the inner block, because this statement has occurred outside the block. Since it has happened inside the block, so whether the error is kept outside the block or inner the block doesn't matter, it will still give out that error. Whereas above, if the operation has occurred outside or the outer block, it needs to have an division here in the outer block rather than inner block, because in inner block it will not execute it at all. Yeah, because none of the inner block has got executed when we run it the first time, when the operations A divided by B was out in the outer block. Hope I was able to make this concept clear by running through this 3-4 example. I try to take as maximum and as simple examples as possible. Hope you are able to understand the concept of having a nested try block. Hope you are able to understand the examples. Hope you like it. Please like and share this video across to your colleagues who want to learn Python. Do comment if you have any views or suggestions or any feedback on this specific topic, and which will help my learners to add on to their knowledge. But do not forget to subscribe to my channel, because that will help you to get my latest videos always directly to your inbox. Thank you so much.